Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are joined again by Susan Lunning, our life mastery consultant and friend from the Whole Health Way. And we're excited to have her here today. Actually, we caught her in action because she was actually doing a Reiki session when I called. How are you?
Oh, I'm so lovely. And, this is how living the life that you love, you set your intention to serve and to ground yourself and be used however you're supposed to serve. And Angie we normally coach on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And she's part of a group coaching that I do on Tuesday nights. So she had to come over by the area where my office is. And she was in her meeting and she texts me, "Hey, can I have Reiki today?"
Oh,
I'm like, "Well, sure." So she got over here, I think it was about 1 o'clock or something like that. And she's just up now and moving around, but she had a severe migraine starting headache. She had low back pain. And let's see, what were the other things? The headache is gone. The low back pain is gone.
wow.
The upper back pain is gone. And this is just being willing to let go.
Beautiful.
And that's what is so important for us to know, that we can heal ourselves. And when we're just open and willing to let go of the things that are no longer serving us, because our issues settle in our tissues. I got issues with my tissues.
Yeah.
And the most wonderful thing that I did last week for 4 full days was learning how to increase my health and well-being through a program, becoming a facilitator for transcendence. And I don't know if you're familiar with Gabrielle Roth. She's no longer with us now, but in New York,
Yeah.
she did a lot of wonderful things on the creation of conscious dance. And I never considered myself a dancer my whole life. And as part of being a part of the Brave Thinking Institute, Jennifer Jimenez started this many years ago. And you can look her up, or Transcendence, and you can find all sorts of neat things. But my coaching, Reiki, all of the wonderful things, they're all connected in this wonderful training. And so I'm going to be creating a dancertation the end of June. So
Wow.
once I pass my dancertation, then I will be doing groups, and I'll be charging $20 a session. And my clients, they get this as their value added. So they get Reiki, they get whatever they need. And the thing is just learning to ask, because there's a lot of issues with us asking, because we think we should do this ourselves, but we are needing support in our journey. So here's just your body's 7 chakras, and
Another
this
breakdown. Good to see. Yep.
you know, and the colors that start out with our root chakra, and then the purple for our crown chakra. And when any of these are blocked, then so is our health and the organs in that arena. And there's an emotional and a mental and a spiritual and a physical reason if any of these are blocked. And we're the ones who know what it is. But what the beauty of this is with my business is I want to help support people to be able to go to themselves,
Yeah.
because they can heal themselves. They're the highest authority on themselves, and they're the one that knows, right, what it is that they need to let go. But sometimes it's stuffed down so deep, and then it's physicalized in our body. And Angie's been through many what would you say, situations, conditions, circumstances, two really great friends transitioned without any warning. And her dad now is in a hospice
Ah,
situation. And so as we're growing up as children and with our friends and our family, we
yeah.
have that connection with what they've said to us, or just whatever it is. And we get the opportunity when we have a pain or an infection or anything like that. This is an opportunity for us to connect with our body and find out what it needs.
Is this where the pendulum comes to play when you do the Reiki?
Yeah,
It it
yeah.
circles
You
over
get
an area in a certain way. Could you show
Yeah,
us?
so
You were
yeah. So this is the pendulum, and Angie had an opportunity. I didn't check her afterwards, but so for instance, here's my third eye,
wow.
and you want it to be swirling healthy. This is our energy.
Okay.
We have a beautiful energy. We are energy. We are light. And really, it's laws of electricity. Uh, so my crown chakra is open and swirling healthy. My connection to my source, the divine. And we can go there anytime we want to and ask questions. So here's the throat chakra. This is the one that I've struggled with most of my life. And so you see it is swirling, and that's healthy. That's the circular. It's our healthy centers, our chakras. That's when they're open. I'm speaking my truth. I'm doing what I love. I'm open.
So
And
it
my
wouldn't
heart
be moving
chakra.
as much if you had a blockage
Right,
of some sort. Okay.
right. And that's what when we were assessing Angie,
Yeah.
it just stopped moving as much. And so, my heart chakra is open and about emitting love. And then um, my solar plexus, my self-confidence, and my sacral chakra, that is my creative place. That's my gut feelings.
Wow.
And then my root chakra, my connection to security, fear, all those kind of things. So it's really important to be grounded. And I did something kind of cool today. Um, wisdom, Wisdom to Wellness, Maureen Minahan Jones.
Oh.
I played the CD on releasing anger and all sorts of things that don't, resentment, all sorts
Hmm.
of those things, and the things to imagine. And so you can look up healing emotional suffering so the physical healing can follow. And she talks about the MO, or the modus operandi. And so, for instance, allergies. Um, let's see. The disease, allergies are exaggerated or abnormal immune system reactions to substances or situations harmless to most people. But the sole discovery of allergies. So if you say you have allergies, say you have these kind of things, there's a soul discovery in that, and it goes through this process. Cancer, thyroid, plantar fasciitis. I had plantar fasciitis so bad.
I've had that too. It was so painful. I had to get the shot of the cortisone in the foot, right?
Yes, and the soul discovery for me was to let go of, because I was taking on all of the financial, and I was taking on all the support for everybody. And that showed up in my feet. I had to go to the Good Feet store and everything, but I couldn't walk, I couldn't exercise, I couldn't do any of those things. But when I went through this process with Maureen, and Maureen is actually an RN that would trained at Mercy
Just like
College
yourself,
here
by
in
the
Des
way,
Moines.
those that may not know. Hmm.
Yes, and she trained at the same college that I did here in Des Moines, and she's in California now, and she created this. Just amazing. So it's, I could really go on to that, but the transcendence, the Reiki, our thoughts become things. It's all connected. And so Angie, when she came in, she had a headache, shoulder discomfort,
Mhm.
and um, and your low back, and you have an infection that has started, and her knee had popped out, and she's been dealing with that since 2007. But this is an opportunity to relax, and we just need to relax. And what is that? How do you do that? I mean, really, in the
Mhm.
world today, with our conditions and our circumstances and what people expect from us. So just wondering if you have any questions, or if you'd like to ask Angie anything.
I was going to ask. I know she's your client today, and you're talking to her off camera. Does she
Okay.
want to step on, or is she
There, we
comfortable?
could just go like this.
Sure. Hi. Thank you so
Oh,
much for being here, for being part of this, and allowing us to come in so invasively, actually, to a real session, which I think is actually kind of cool the way it's meant to be. We get to see you live in
yes.
action in a sense. So you
Yeah.
came to Susan today because you were suffering with headache?
Well, today was my normal coaching day.
Okay.
And I had texted her because I was sitting in a meeting and I was like, can we do Reiki today? Because I haven't done it with her since before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, this day is typically the day I coach with her. And so I chose to do this part of my coaching rather than a homework assignment type of thing.
And here you are. Thank you for being here. Could you talk a little bit about, did you want to talk about the coaching effects? I know we've discussed before, in a sense, the benefits of working with Susan, since we're here live on the radio with the Whole Health Way. Yeah, we have 10 more minutes left. I would love to hear from you, your thoughts about Susan and what you're all working on, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. So today I've been going, and I've got a lot going on in my life. And like she said, I had two near and dear friends pass on unexpectedly. And so I've just been charged going 200 mile an hour. And yesterday we had our group coaching session with another one of her clients. And we were talking about abundance and everyone deserving to have abundance in their life and living an abundant life. And last week I had told her, I go, when we're coaching, I hear her saying, I hear her talking about it, but I guess that when I get off the coaching call, everybody kind of, you just go back into life again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think about consciously about living an abundant life, that type of thing. And so we're really working on that. I'm getting ready to work on my vision again and starting from scratch to where I am in life now versus where I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So anyways, things are starting to go aha for me
Mm-hmm.
over the last, I would say 3 months. And I've been coaching with Susan for about 2 years.
Wow. And the benefits clearly speak volumes. You're back again this week.
I am.
And what would you say to someone out there who's interested in maybe starting to live the life that they dreamed of? Their desires, their wants. They just want to be a better person overall. And how could Susan help them?
If you don't know if you want coaching, I would at least give her a call and, say kind of what's going on in your life and what you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you can chat to see if you're going to be a match, number one. And then number two, you're able to ask any questions that you may have, because I know I'd always heard about people and wanting more in life and going through life coaching, but I really didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And so I was fortunate enough to be in a networking group with her, and I just talked to her about it and realized, this is something that I want to do. And I know that I've come a long ways in who I am and finding myself, and I highly recommend it. And if you're questionable, at least make the phone call. You owe it to yourself to do that much.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
Susan, did you want to share anything else about your session today, or about how you can help our listeners? I'm not sure what you had in store for today's show, since we weren't prepared technically, but this is what's meant to be.
Yeah.
Come on in, come into the screen. Go ahead.
Yeah, there we go. We can squeeze them together here. So, I thought it was quite interesting. I don't have anything planned today. I was talking to Ashley and I said, well, I can talk about the transcendence and I can, talk about Heroes for Home Care because I did get the t-shirts now and I was able to start helping a caregiver yesterday. And, my dream is happening right now. 3 years ago, I wrote all this down and it's happening.
Mhm.
And it's greater than I would have ever even imagined. And I was sharing some of this with Angie also and with the group coaching last night. Because when we really get to the point where we write down what we would really love. I mean, if money weren't an issue, time, our age, nothing could stand in our way. What would we absolutely love? And then writing that down in the 4 domains, our health and well-being, your relationships, your vocation, your vocari, your creative expression of your gifts, and your time and money freedom. What would you love? And a lot of times we're bankrupt. We're maybe bankrupt in our health and well-being, but our vocation is okay, but you feel that you have to give up something in order to have what you would love. You're like, oh, well, and then we have all these sabotage things that can come in too when we are really, starting to see it happening and unfold, then we'll sabotage ourselves
Yep.
because we just haven't been there before. And that's where it's so important to have a coach and somebody who understands your vision, because the one thing that happens when you have a vision is your paradigms, your self-limiting beliefs about yourself and your world come up. And it's fear. That's not the voice of your intuition. That's the voice of fear, your paradigms. And they know how to talk to you. They know how to bring you down. They will use delay. They will use distraction. They will use dissuasion, and they will use DEFCON, where you're so dang stuck, you can't even move. Okay. And so that's good news because you're growing. Your paradigms don't bug you until you do something out of your comfort zone. And
Mhm.
when people coach with me and they find out about the investment, okay, then they want everything up until that time of the investment, right? But that's how the paradigms work. They say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I have to ask my spouse, just all these things. That's the message that we're giving all the time, is that no, I don't have the money, I don't have the money, right? When I did this, I didn't either. And I wanted all those things, but I said, no, really, I don't have the money. I'm off of work surgery.
Yeah.
I did this and that and this and that. But what happens is one of our main things that we believe in, we understand that what's inside of every one of us is something so much greater than outside of them. They're these conditions and these circumstances. And that's what I talked about last night, looking at facts versus the truth. The fact, well, I've got $100 in my checking account. Okay. And the truth is, I live in an abundant universe. And when I coach you and support you with understanding the tools, the brave thinking tools, and how you can progress and take steps towards the life you love living. But it all has to do with letting go of all these things that are stopping us. So the neck pain shows up, the low back pain shows up, knee pain, all in infections. That's significant of a problem with one of our chakras.
Wow.
And it's our thoughts. And so I support and help you to remove these blockages when you're ready. But see, that's what's happened, is that's why we're so blocked off from believing that we can have these things. But one of the main things that I learned this last week my inner child came out. I brought the colors out. I put on the crazy wigs, colorful wigs. I'm jumping, I'm just playing. I
Yeah.
come here and I tell my husband, I said, I'm going to go play, or I'll go down in the basement and say, I'm going to go play. He goes,
Yeah.
okay, and so that's what we stopped doing. And so when a lot of us have these things happen to us
Blockages
in
where
our life,
mhm.
yeah, these blockages, it's like, okay, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop playing? And then you can kind of see how everything is rolled there. So when I started this business, I was just so serious about it. I was so driven and so passionate about it that I forgot to play, Jill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's something that I'd really love to share.
Yeah,
And
see, I have a
then-
5 and 7-year-old, so play is always on their mind. And as an adult, you're like, oh, I'm busy, I'm this, but no. But when you get into it, it's fun. It is.
Right,
It
right.
does put you in that sense of just
Yes, just play.
happy. Mm-hmm.
You know what? Just play. There's plenty of time for seriousness and focus. But when you play, you let go. And then the universe you can conspire with the universe and live this life that you love. But when you try to control things and have things go a certain way, it never does.
No.
So why put yourself through that? So one of the fun things, I know we're running out of our time here, or we probably already have, but
Yeah,
one
we
of
got
the
one more minute. Go ahead. I gotta go.
okay. All right. Well, we were supposed to kind of draw a picture of ourselves before and after. And so this was me. I don't know if you can see, but that looks pretty constricted. And I had
Yeah.
all these things. I feel bad about feeling bad,
Stiff
thyroid
pressure,
problems,
pain,
this and that.
numbness.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I was when I started this program. And look at what I have now. This is who I am.
Happy, colorful. Wow. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Freely moving.
And I know who I am, and I know why I'm here.
So can we talk more about Transcendence next week as well?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. And if we want to reach out to you, please remind us how we can.
Yeah, and going to thewholehealthway.com/gift, and you'll see on there where it says free gift or free call or whatever it is. Click that, schedule the time where we can have that call. And then it's an hour about you. And we'll just unpack things and find out what you would love and see if we're a good fit. But fill out the questionnaire. Let's talk about this. You do owe it to yourself. You really do. You can do it.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us again, Angie. We appreciate you here as well. I'll let you get back to your session now. Enjoy the rest of your session and working together with Susan from The Whole Health Way. Thank you again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's It's going to be okay.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.